Hey peeps, I come to you with another teleworking tips video. This is just basically a Windows tips video, but I've seen a lot of people who didn't know any of this stuff. And it's about browser bookmarks. And I'm going to show you how to manage them and save them so you don't lose them. Let's check out this example. Right here on my desktop, you can see this folder called Telework Shortcuts. And if I open that up, you can see I've got a few shortcuts in there. And if I open up one of them, it opens up in what's called the default browser. I'll explain that more in a minute. But the first thing you want to do if you have shortcuts stored somewhere is don't minimize all your stuff and go to the desktop. The desktop is actually the least efficient way to store shortcuts because you're minimizing everything you have open just to get there. Freaking ridiculous. If I want the desktop, I actually go into the start menu and open up something called this PC, which I should have pinned to the start menu. Lol, pin to start. Escape. Open up start menu again. Ah, that's the one I want. Check this out. Right over here on the left, I can hit desktop. And this is the folder I'm going to be working from to show you some examples. I've got 3 examples there. Let's delete this one to show you the first example. Let's say I'm in Chrome. So I'll open up Chrome and I do whatever work I'm doing or browsing. That took me a bunch of steps to get there, and I want to make a shortcut. I can either go there and copy the URL from up at the top, or I can right-click the link and hit copy link address. That might say something different depending on what browser you're in. The easiest way to remember is that if you're at the website, you can inspect the URL in the address bar at the top. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. So let's say I go back to my folder that I have on my desktop, right-click in an open space, hit New, Shortcut. First thing it's going to want to know is the location. So I'm just going to hit Paste, which is Control-V on the keyboard, and then hit Next. And I can type a name, Robert Jene on YouTube. I'm going to hit Enter. Let's see what happens if I open that. It opens my channel in what looks like Microsoft Edge. Why it's open it that way is because my default browser is set to Edge. What that means, whenever you try to do any protocols that are for the web, they open in your default browser, and you can actually change that. If you open the start menu and just type default apps, open that up, scroll down until you see web browser, click whatever it is right now, and let's say I want to change it to Brave. Hashtag more private browsing, lol. And what happens when I open this now? It opens it in Brave. I can tell Brave because it's got this little Brave icon. In the same way, you can set it to whatever browser you have installed. Now, if you're on a work computer, I would recommend leaving that alone and actually bookmarking each web page you need in each browser. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm in this web page in the browser I want it bookmarked in, and I'm going to press Control-D. And now I get this bookmark added with the little edit menu. Robert Jene, YouTube, folder, bookmarks. I could change that to other bookmarks or make my own folder or whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and hit save and see what that looks like. Let's see where I get to that. Hit this little thing up here and then hit bookmarks. And then I've got some different stuff I have bookmarked there. Like places where I go to look up pictures to put on my YouTube channel. Go back to bookmarks. You can also go in the top right again and then hit bookmarks and then show bookmarks. And the bookmarks bar appears. Let's see what that looks like in Chrome. Bookmarks bar is already right there. Let's bookmark my YouTube channel again. Control-D, this shows up again, and it says bookmarks bar. Okay, it's calling it something different, but that's fine. I get the idea. I can hit done, and it shows up right there. And if I don't like that name, I can right-click that, hit edit, and I could change the name, and I could change the URL if maybe there's something in there I don't like or I want to fix a typo. Hit save. It's still the same thing. It works great. Now let's see what bookmarking something in Internet Explorer looks like. Blah, blah, blah. We're not going to work in Internet Explorer soon. Lol. Control D, what happens? We get this menu, add a favorite, and it's also got this menu thing. If I hit favorites bar right there, I can hit add. And it's like, where's my bookmark? I thought I added it to the favorites bar. I actually work with this a lot on multiple computers, especially my work computers where they have systems that require Internet Explorer. You go to View, Toolbars, Favorites bar. Internet Explorer calls Bookmarks favorites. Go figure. What about Firefox? That's another one that's a little different. I already happen to have Firefox open. So let's hit Control D. Oh, nice little thumbnail showing me what I'm doing. And it puts it in an other bookmarks folder at first until you drop this down and hit Bookmarks toolbar and hit Done. Save to library. And it's right there. And how I want to hide or show this, let's say this is hidden for you. You hit Alt on your keyboard and this toolbar appears. And you hit View, Toolbars, Bookmarks bar. See how I just hit it and I could show it again? Some people might like the sidebar version, which is View, Sidebar, Bookmarks. And that way you can have all these different folders and categories. But the real problem is, what happens if your computer gets replaced or reimaged or whatever? This is especially painful if you have a work computer. So I'm going to close these browsers out, show you a couple things. Let's say you have OneDrive, that's one example, or you have a Z drive, and some jobs have a place called an H drive. These are all things that are actually on a server, they're not on your computer, so they're backed up. If you have another place where your employer says, if you need anything backed up, put it here, put it there. So this is an example. Let's say this is a folder I have that I know I've always backed up, and I want to open some bookmarks that I have in here. I can make multiple folders and say Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, or I could group them by tasks or job duties, doesn't matter. Or if I only have a few and I know which ones work best in which, I can keep them right here. So let's say this example, I only have 3. Now here's something interesting. There's a drag and drop thing you can do with your shortcuts if you have them in here. Let's see what happens if I open Robert Jene on YouTube shortcut. My default browser right now is Brave still from earlier, okay? So let's bypass that. Let's try to open Robert Jene on YouTube in Internet Explorer. And I have an Internet Explorer down here in my quick launch. If you want to know how to get the quick launch area in your taskbar, check out part 9 of my Telework tips video. I show you how to configure and customize the taskbar to your liking. If you drag this on top of an Internet Explorer shortcut to where the little tooltip words that pop up says open with Internet Explorer, and then let go of the mouse, it opens it in that browser. So what happens if I do that same thing with Firefox? That works, that's good. What happens if I do that with Edge? Oh, that is weird. All right, sorry, these icons just suddenly changed. I refreshed something, I'm not sure, and they're showing my default browser icon on them now. Maybe Windows was stuck. Windows be lol sometimes. But let's say I'm in this browser, this is Edge, and I want to open one of these in there. Another way to do it, because doing it this way cause it to make this funky thing. But if I hit this plus button to make a new tab, I can drag this into this page, and it should make it navigate to that page. Nope, it's not working. What if I navigate it to new tab? Oh, there we go, that works. If we drag this up here to new tab, let's try that in Chrome. Yeah, it works. So I've gone through this real fast, and I recommend if there's a part you wanted to see, go back and watch it again. But basically, you want to go to the website, you want bookmarks first, and then you want to grab that URL and you're going to copy paste it somewhere, or you're going to hit Control D and manage it within the bookmark menu of that software. However, the bookmarks in Chrome, Internet Explorer, and other browsers are not automatically backed up. If you have a backup solution or your IT is set up, I recommend you make a folder there and you put some stuff in there. Now I'm going to show you the next level, a little bit more advanced thing for making shortcuts. And this might blow your mind a little bit, or you just might think it's cool and think this is very entertaining to watch. That's cool. I'm going to do the zoom shortcut, for example, because this is one that might be more effective for you. Let's say you have a Teams meeting or someone emailed you a link to a Teams meeting. Well, this is a Zoom meeting for my small group, and I've replaced the meeting ID with a bunch of ones. But the idea is that I could open this in any browser to launch something, and like this will work in Teams because Teams has a web version. Just follow me here. First thing you want to do, and this is going to elevate your mind. You're going to be 1,000 times way cooler using Windows once you unlock this potential. And you're going to like start to see the code inside of the matrix, if you know what I mean. Just a tiny bit of it, not a lot to like overload you. If you go up here in File Explorer, which is again, you can get from opening this PC, you hit View, go way over here to the right, hit Options. Now go to this View tab. And ever since I discovered this, I've always had this set this way. You want to go down and uncheck Hide Extensions for Known File Types. And what this is going to do is going to make PDFs say PDF, and MP3s say MP3, and Microsoft Word files will say docx, and Excel will say XLSX, and things you make in Notepad will say .txt. Now see, these don't show anything because they're special shortcut files. They don't count. They're little cheaters who don't follow the rules. But at least they open shortcuts for us, right? Say, for example, I have a text file in here. Test.txt. Ooh, we never saw that before. What if I open up my video folder for the videos I'm working on right now, like this ASMR challenge video? You got all these MP4s and MP3s in there. Now you can see what I mean. Anyways, close that. Check this out. If you hit New, Text Document, and let's say I want to open Firefox Small Group Zoom. Now go to the end and replace the .txt with the .bat. Again, that's whatever you want to name it with a period, and then the .bat extension is what that's called. Everything after the dot's called the extension. If I right-click this and hit Edit, then it'll let me type a little bit of code in there. So let's find the Firefox shortcut because I need to get its launch code. Launch codes, lol. No, it's path. If I right-click on a shortcut and I hit Properties, I get all this good stuff. Now, I'm going to copy-paste that. But before I paste it, I'm going to type start slash, that's a forward slash, which is the same key as the question mark. SEPARATE, that's separate. So basically, this code right here, oops, lol, is going to open Firefox. Separate means this batch file will close itself when Firefox opens. If you don't use separate, it will stay open and you'll have a bunch of little black windows open everywhere being ugly. But if I open this with just Firefox in there, it just does this and stays open. It's weird. But if I go back over here, get my small group thing by hitting, if I right click this and hit Properties, and I get that URL back out of there. I need to put quotes around that, double quote, which is Shift and the finger, one over, duh, like that. And make sure there's a double quote character around the URL and a double quote character around the path to the web browser and a space in between. Now watch what happens when I open this. Boom! This is going to bypass my default browser settings. And let's say someday Firefox starts being buggy, but Internet Explorer works better at it. You can right-click the Internet Explorer shortcut, hit Properties, and put this in there. Control S to save. Open this up. And now, that's in Brave for some reason. So we play around with this to see what's up with that. Let's just use the program itself. Nope. Still not working. So let's go back in here. Control Z. I'm going to Control S this. CD this. folder, which means change into this folder. Let's see if that works. Nope. Pause. Okay. So let's try taking the slash separate off. Nope, still opening in Brave. Windows button R, iExplore.exe. Okay. Well, I got it to work. Internet Explorer wanted me to take the start command completely off of it. Let's see if I can put this back on it so I can make it one line of code again. All right, so you see how I did that tinkering. I'm not going to go into tinkering to figure out how to make it work in every web browser, but you saw how you got your start, separate, path to web browser, and then URL, and you play around with that. Take out the separate, see how that behaves. Take out the start and the separate, see how that behaves. How to change directories to it to maybe see if that works. Those are actually all the fundamentals of making a thing like this. Now I'm going to show you one more thing, a menu thing. Menu thing. .bat. This is going to blow your mind. @echo off. This is going to make your command line window that comes up not look like this with a bunch of garbage. It's only going to have what you tell it to say. Echo in this left bracket. Trust me on this. And then echo 1, Robert Gene in Internet Explorer. Echo 2, Robert Gene in Firefox. Another echo left bracket, and then a pause. That pause is going to tell it to pause and not close, and it looks like that. All right, still not interesting? Watch, this is going to blow your mind. Set choice equals blank. Because I'm a Time Lord, I know how to plan for something in the future that will come back to the past. I'll show you what I mean. Set /p. This means prompt the user. Choice equals type the option and press enter, space. Then you want if /i. /i is like case insensitive. If you start having letters as your options, don't worry about it. Quote, percent choice, percent quote, equal 1, go to option 1. I'm going to copy paste this line and make an option 2. Okay. And then that means if you choose option 1, it's going to do what this says. If you choose option 2, it's going to do what this says. So let's make those places for it to go to. All right, we're going to put code down here later. Now I'm going to put another echo, because what if you type something other than 1 or 2? An echo a blank line, and an echo choice was invalid. Please try again. Echo, pause so that you have a chance to read the message that it's outputting, and then go to, let's call it menu, or main menu. And then this will go back to the beginning if you copy paste this. Oops, don't need a colon there. Put it here. And what you want here is a clear screen. Because if I don't put a clear screen, it's going to do this. It's going to keep drawing the menu again and again and again. But if I put a clear screen right here, a CLS, it says enter blank was invalid, please try again. Blank was invalid, please try again. 1. And it crashes. Oops. So I need a return again, don't I? I need to go to main menu at the end of each one of these options. I don't need that pause anymore. So let's see what, this is the Internet Explorer solution, isn't it? So let's put that in the option 1. Option 1. I need a quote. So I need to copy the properties out of Firefox. So it gets that in there. Start /separate. go grab this URL. I want Robert Jene, not a small group for this one. So let's go to Robert Jene, properties, copy that URL, quote, 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 save that, open this menu thing, and choose option 1, Robert Jene in Internet Explorer. And that's what happens. And I can do Robert Jene in Firefox too. You see that craziness? Did I blow your mind? Did I make it melt out of your ears all over your desk? Clean it up. Get to work. Lol. That's why I'm so efficient. I get so many tickets done in IT because I find little shortcuts, pun intended, to things. Well, thanks for watching. I've been Robert Jene. I think I'll put a video up here for the playlist to see all the telework tips videos, and a video up here of my son. And if you want to talk to me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, I'm going to put that stuff down here. And if you want to get subscribed, the button's going to be right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.